excellence, and having quality clubs supports the idea of helping all clubs achieve excellence. And to lead this session is our Program Quality Director, distinguished Toastmaster, Kimberly Dueck.
I have handed out packages to all of the division directors with the exception of our illustrious Division I, which I don't think he's in the room at the moment, so he's just run wild. Hopefully he comes back. Anyway, but the division directors have the packages. There is a club visit report for everyone in your groups. Yes, Amy? I gave it to you. Oh, fair enough. They did not pass it along, sorry. All right. Do you have a signal for me? No? Okay. So, all right, we're going to talk about being area directors today. And I was thinking about this as I was preparing, and as you know, I've been creating my plans, this program quality, and how are we going to do this, and how are we going to support each other. And I thought to myself, how many of you are new to this district thing? Yeah? Okay, there's quite a few here. I'm not sure about all of you. I'm not sure if you're feeling excited or maybe a little nervous or, you know, this is old hat, like, oh, you got this handled, no problem. Are you all like totally pumped? You're good to go? Okay. Maybe a little bit of nervousness. I would say that's normal. And if you're not, maybe by the time you get started, you might start to feel that. I think Sue gave some great thoughts in terms of how to handle what can sometimes seem overwhelming. How many of you in here have done a district role before? I'd like you to actually stand up. All right. Wow. Okay. So first of all, I want to say thank you for coming back, because I think everybody who's sitting, don't sit down just yet. I want to actually first of all say, let's thank these people by giving them an round. Look at someone who's sitting and say, you got this. I am here to support you. Now you can sit down.
Now we got it.
All right. Thank you so much. So, Sue covered this, but I'm going to do it again because I don't think we can cover this too many times. Very quickly, the role of the area director. What did you remember from this morning's session? Just shout it out, a couple things. Support the clubs, yeah. Any other key objectives that we have as area directors?
Visit
Contests, yeah.
Visit clubs.
Visit clubs.
Recognition.
Recognition.
Connection with the division.
Connection with the district, yeah.
Fill out your reports.
Area contests, yeah. Okay, so as I was preparing for this session, I realized something. I am talking about program quality today, and there's some beautiful slides and workbooks, and you guys can read those. But I realized one thing. When I read through the club visit report one more time, I said, you know what? Quality clubs are well represented in that area visit report. So I have decided today we are going to really have a focus on that area visit report, and I want you all to see it as your friends. It is a very key resource that you have that is, I'll call it an accountability tool that you have with your club. So you're going to go and visit with them, you're going to see how they're doing, you're going to support them. This report is going to be your way of kind of documenting what you think that club can do, be based on your discussions with them, your thoughts. So I thought, what better way to reinforce quality clubs by going through that club visit report. So that's what we're going to do today. We're actually going to fill out a whole visit report together as a group, not all together. We're going to do it in breakout sessions. But I thought, what a better way to do it than by really reinforcing this tool that you're all going to have to become very familiar with, and you know, it'll become your best friend as you go throughout the year. So before we get into the report itself, there's a couple things I wanted to cover. One of them is, before you even go and visit a club, there's things that you need to be thinking about. So two of them I want to cover is just how do you go about building those relationships with your clubs? And the second part is understanding what resources and research you can do before you even go to that club. So let's start with the first one, building that trust. When I was looking through some really great resources, and again, I handed out this package, Ibra, I have one for you yet. I did this package up for you guys. I hope it's not too many pages, but it's meant to give you some very key resources for you to prepare for doing your visit reports. And the first thing I put in there was a really cool article I read about building trust as a consultant. And I thought, you know what, that's actually kind of what we're doing here. We're not going in there to run the clubs for them. We're going in there to listen and share best practices, take our own areas of expertise, and advise them. So I thought, you know what, that's actually a very relevant report, or I guess article that you guys can read. But instead of reading it, some of you might have been keeners and went on the Slack channel and saw that in advance. If you did, you can certainly have more answers to this. But I was going to just ask in general, what do you guys think is needed to build trust and rapport with your club executives?
I'd say share your experience.
Sure. Sounds good. Any other?
The area council meeting would help to kind of first get to know each other and start building that trust.
You can do that. She says area council meetings.
Tell them what you're doing wrong right off the bat.
I sense we have some sarcasm going on. Jim says, tell them what they're doing wrong. Of course, you're going to go in there and not do that, but thank you for that. Naomi?
Demonstrating your values, integrity, respect,
Yeah.
and leading through these values so that when you're speaking, they know you're speaking about something that you're doing yourself
Right.
and not putting yourself above,
Yeah.
but just building that relationship based on common values. That will create a little more trust,
Yeah.
and also being consistent through the month, the year, so that there's an accountability and consistency in the way you display
Excellent.
yourself.
Yeah. So Naomi talked a lot about the values of Toastmasters and that we want to emulate them and work through that with the club executive. Yeah. One more here.
Okay, one more.
Yeah.
We want to get to know them and get to know what their goals and aspirations are. And then we can work our magic into their magic.
I like that. We're going to work our magic into their magic, understanding their goals for sure. So there's lots more we can say to this, and again, I encourage you to read that art. It's a quick read, very easy to read, but it's just something to start thinking about even before you go into the clubs and thinking about how you want to develop that friendship and trust with them. Some other things out of there, you know, obviously keep your word. Remember their names. Names is so important. Even just saying it properly. I always feel bad when there's maybe a more difficult name. Go out of your way. A name to someone means something to them. So that's something I'd advise to consider. Speak their language, have clear, open communication, just some things to think about in building trust with them. So other things I've included in this handout is I just, again, pulled resources that are already out there for you. So we have quality club meetings. If you think about it, I don't know if anyone has ever done a Moments of Truth. Has anyone done those? Yeah? That's a fabulous resource, and the reality of it is that structure is exactly the same as your club visit report. So you may even decide yourself to go in and do a Moments of Truth with your club by presenting it, and they can self-assess, or you can encourage them to do that. So that's another resource you can consider using. There is a handout here that talks about each of the components of both Moments of Truth and the club visit report. So there's some good ideas out there. It's from Mastering Your Meetings. And I've also included in this package a great example of a well-done club visit report. It was done this last year for Avance Synergy, and it's really just a very good example of some area director who's really invested the time and thought through all of her responses. It might appear like it's a lot of work, but the reality is if you've really taken the time and gone through and had the discussions, you will be able to come up with these kinds of responses as well. And from a technical component, I will tell you, the system will not actually allow you to submit the report until every field has some kind of response to it. So just on a technical side to keep that in mind as well. So I have that resource in this package for you too, as you're going to go through this in your groups. And from that standpoint, I think a last little piece here, club visit tips for area directors. So there's another resource in here that talks about what to do before the visit, during the visit, and following your visit. So there's some great little tips in there as well. And yeah, so that's about all I'm going to say for now. Yes?
I'm just trying to find this document.
Yeah.
It's on the Slack channel. I have given one copy of it to each of the division. Yeah. For the deck 2019-2020.
The one posted,
It's the only one I have posted so far, so it's a bit further up. Okay, the name of the document is Enhanced Club Quality.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. It is, yeah.
Virginia?
So with that being said, each division director has a hard copy of this. I also gave enough for everyone to have their own club visit report. So this next segment, what we're going to do is we're going to take about 20 minutes for you guys to pick one section of the report, and you're actually going to fill it out in teams. The last page of the handout that I gave gives some instructions for you to talk about as a team. But what we're going to do first is each one of you is on individually take 5 minutes and take the section that we're going to assign in a moment. You're going to take 5 minutes to answer it just from your own experience with one of your clubs. So pretend like you are the area director of your club and you're going to fill out your section and put some thoughts together. And then as a team, take 15 minutes to talk about your section. So you're going to talk about, and I put this down, so what pre-work and resources are available to you ahead of visiting? What do you believe are the best practices? What challenges do you think you're going to overcome? And how do you think you as an area director can help coach your club overcome these challenges? Thank you. And then the third part that we're going to do together as a whole group, we're going to come back together after the 20 minutes. And each of you will get about 3 to 5 minutes to present your findings that your group has come up with. So I'd suggest, talk a little bit about what you think are really good practices, and then what's a key challenge that you think you might encounter or could encounter, and what you'd recommend for the rest of us to implement as well. So that's what I'm going to encourage you to do. So I'm not going to assign the sections. I can actually ask for volunteers. I guess I could have let you know that ahead of time. So which team would like to do the first impressions? So this is really a focus on when guests come through your doors. Which team would like to do that? I'm going to write this actually on the board. Are you all right? Okay. Any volunteers, first impressions? So Division B is going to do first impressions. Next one, we have membership orientation. So this is when so we have D that wants membership orientation. We have fellowship, variety, and communication. So what division you? G will do fellowship, variety, and communication. Program planning and meeting organization. F, okay. Good job.
Membership strength.
H, membership strength.
Let's just jump in.
What was that?
F, what did F say?
That's program planning
Yeah.
and
Program
meeting
planning for
organization.
F. Membership strength for
H. And who's left here for achievement recognition?
achievement for